Chia. What's up, sons? It's Blind Rod with Son of a Tech once again. Today we're here to ask and answer the simple question, WTF is Chia coin? Let's get into it right after a word from our sponsor. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journey. Skillshare offers thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people alike on topics including illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing, and even cryptocurrency. As a content creator and cryptocurrency enthusiast, Skillshare offers me the tools to sharpen my videography skills with classes like Video on a Budget, Prepare for Your Shoot Without Breaking the Bank, and for cryptocurrency, Accounting 101, Accounting Rules for Crypto and Bitcoin. It's curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and they are always launching new premium classes, so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. And it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership, so you can explore your creativity. Welcome back. So if you guys haven't heard of Chia coin, it's a new fantastic coin. It's the next big Bitcoin. It's the next big crypto that's going to make you a lot of money. Well, maybe. The thing is it's very new and we are just getting ready for basically mainnet launch, which just happened here recently on March 19th. And it's not even listed in any sort of exchanges. So there's no way to swap it in and out really necessarily at this point for other cryptocurrencies or fiat. So everything you do around Chia at the moment is within its own little ecosystem for now. And to actually make any profit off of it, that will need to happen. Now, my understanding is on March 30th, we should be seeing some sort of listings start to appear. And at that point, we can start to determine what the profitability of mining it would be. Where did the idea come from for Chia coin? Well, it came from Graham Cohen, who is the inventor of BitTorrent. The reason for it was because of issues with the proof of work that Bitcoin currently has in place that had developed over the years since its inception, and then issues with proof of stake as being the solution. So I'm actually going to be working on a video using the materials from, of course, Mr. Cohen here to explain the issues with proof of stake in the near future, as ETH 2.0 will be proof of stake, and that's going to be something that we need to discuss, potential problems with that. It surrounds quorum, security, and so on. That aside, the idea for proof of work fails because of power consumption, and not only power consumption, but the kind of move into ASICs. And what happened with Bitcoin is that it wasn't really initially meant to be mined with ASICs, which centralizes the network due to a limited amount of manufacturers and the purchasing power of current ASIC miners. So this really moved it away from the initial kind of vision for Bitcoin, which was that there was an untapped resources of CPUs in the hands of general consumers across the world that could be utilized to mine and add security to the network, and then thereby increasing the decentralization of Bitcoin and essentially being able to continue that decentralization. That has now been kind of destroyed by ASICs. So the solution here was finding another untapped resource that people had general access to, and that is hard drives. Now, it's not necessarily utilizing hard drives to store any sort of information on the blockchain. It's actually using hard drives as, think of it like a bingo card, right? Which is how it was explained to me. And basically you are writing a whole bunch of bingo cards on your hard drives, and then when the transaction goes to be validated, it comes up with that bingo number and presents it to the network, and whoever has that number then validates that transaction and receives a reward. Now, similarly, Burstcoin had been doing this in the past, and they had an issue that was known as grinding. Now, what grinding is essentially that term comes from the sound of hard drives when it's writing and reading off of the hard drive. Traditional hard drives, not solid state drives. And the thing is that that term is used there because basically they would rewrite the plots, and plots are basically the bingo cards, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again to basically be able to take over the network, rewrite transactions, or just find transactions faster. So it was a way to manipulate the way that that current algorithm worked. So to prevent this, Chia coin has come up with the concept of proof of time. Now, proof of time essentially resolves it by adding in these time walls or time barriers between writes and so on. It also means that it's going to take you a long time to write plots, which is going to encourage you to not rewrite plots. We've been talking about being able to plot faster. And yes, the goal ultimately is to plot faster, but if you plotted too quickly, then you could run into the issue of having people take advantage of it with grinding. Now, we can go into more detail on proof of space and proof of time in another video. If you're interested, let me know. I've already reached out to Mr. Cohen to see if we can get some one-on-one so I can ask more technical questions. What else does Chia coin provide? Well, its programming language is Chia Lisp, which is based on Lisp. And so you will be able to see functionality similar to Ethereum in the manner of basically DeFi, right? So decentralized finance, and just a different programming language. Currently, I'm not aware of what the execution environment is, and I have reached out once again to determine what that execution environment will be. Finally, governance is they will be doing a joint stock corporation and adopt current corporate governance best practices. Chia's network strategic reserve will be divided evenly between US parent company and the Swiss subsidiary at mainnet launch. So it's got two different portions here, controlled in the US and Switzerland, with plans to move out to the UK and China so far on the roadmap. So they also want users, farmers, and developers to have the ability to own a portion of the strategic reserve as a shareholder with investor protections of the US public equity markets. We think allowing exposure to the Chia strategic reserve to everyone who can invest in equity is a superior way to align everyone's interests in a long-term success of Chia and the broad deployment of programmable internet money. That internet money. Here's the deal. It does appear that basically farmers and users will be able to have some sort of say regarding governance and changes over the network. However, right now, as it currently sits, it's controlled by corporations and subsidies that are kind of spread out across the world. How do I feel about this? I don't know, because I'm not a corporate structure guy, and I don't know what kind of limitations that places on it and how well the users that are buying into it and having stake in the company are going to be able to influence change. Also, that means that it is based on some sort of ownership of the stocks, essentially, right, at this point, to determine how it's basically whatever the path of the coin is going to take. I'm not sure that I'm okay with that sort of governance. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It is new to me in the cryptocurrency world to see this sort of governance being put into place. So at the end of the day, what is going on with Chia? Is it a good project? I think potentially it is. I see what problem they're trying to solve. I see that they have basically been able to resolve the grinding issue that Burstcoin had, and the current availability of hard drives is good. So if you want to get into it at a home level, it is currently possible. I do have some questions. I don't think that it will be fully decentralized if it's profitable at all, because what you will see is large data centers and so on being able to plot any additional space that they currently have or not using, and be able to start verifying the network. And if that happens on the level of something like a Google or an AWS or an Azure, then you're not going to be able to compete at all. That being said, hopefully we also see pools, because they don't have pools currently yet to mine on, which we mentioned in our video yesterday. I'd like to work with some people on figuring out how to set up some pools to make it a little bit better for everybody that is currently trying to farm Chia. I think it's a great idea. I think that it has the most potential currently, especially if you get in early and go ahead and get some farming going on, and then maybe you can repurpose those drives for something else later on down the line if it doesn't pan out and you can't be competitive on the network. But if you get in early and get in now, you have the potential to basically be hedging your bets on farming some Chia and have that in your bank and ready to go. Once again, we do have obviously the ability to do some stuff that the Ethereum network does as far as decentralized finance. I didn't get a clear answer on things like scalability though, which I still have a huge red flag and want to figure out what the ideas around or how they are going to approach scalability. That's going to be something. And then of course, execution environments, I'm not really sure how that all functions yet either. If you guys know any of the answers to the questions that I have, please let me know in the comment section below and we'll do a follow-up video. I'm pretty excited for Chia, just from the perspective of being a miner and being able to play with more hardware. I have a couple R720s that I've loaded up with drives. I'm looking at storage arrays. I have a DL580 that's getting loaded up to manage some VMs for farming. And we have a nice cool plotter. So you get to play with a lot of equipment. That does mean the barrier of entry, if you're looking at farming Chia, goes up, right? And that barrier to entry could be a little stressful for people, and I understand that. If you are looking to just kind of getting in and doing a couple plots on whatever spare hard drive space you have though, that's pretty simple. And I think that's really what they wanted to aim at initially. Thanks for watching. We'll do a more complicated, more in-depth review of each piece of this because I'm intrigued, and let me know what questions you have surrounding it. I will see you next Tuesday. If you enjoyed this content, you can check out more crypto content on this playlist up here, or of course, go ahead and subscribe for more in the future. Adios.